Welcome to our finale, grand finale.
Our finale, yes. The
Yeah.
third installment of the series of how we got a family here in the middle of a flight ban.
Through many difficulties, and you arrived in style, would you say? Is that a good summary?
I would say so. 5 countries, COVID at the border, MIQ for 26 days, and a whirlwind ever since.
In a world of difference now that you have settled in?
I think it was 5 months from our first meeting till us arriving in New Zealand, which in the middle of COVID, the discovery of the Omicron variant in South Africa, and the flight bans that were placed on South Africa, a lot have said was just miraculous.
Miraculous.
That we just got here through all of that.
Yes, a few delays that you just mentioned, plus there's one more delay. I think it's either the third or the fourth one that we talked about earlier. The Tanzanian airport almost turned into a big delay.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of the most frightening and stressful experiences in our lives.
All the trouble that you had going there and then finally arriving, was it worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you can compare it to mom saying birth. It's the most traumatic, painful experiences, but the baby makes up for it. And New Zealand has definitely made up for it. I mean, we have been talking to friends and family and encouraging them and saying, the time is now. Carpe diem, seize the moment. I think I've been giving your contact details out to every healthcare professional that I know. And I'm saying, look, speak to Tate, he was my recruiter. Speak to Rory Hennessy, he was my immigration officer. Speak to Maritza van Niekerk, she was our travel agent. These three did the impossible and made it possible in a time where everybody said, forget this dream, it's never going to happen. You will never be able to get there.
Well, you got here, you experienced MIQ, you went to home, and you've got a lot of support in your community, I understood. Is that still being felt by you, this community?
Absolutely. Yeah, the South African community, especially the Afrikaner community, have been absolutely amazing. So we're going today to spend some time with some Afrikaans friends of ours, and then we've been invited by some South African Muslims to break our fast with them in the North Shore.
Your children have been through a lot, and you've sent some beautiful pictures of them at the different spots, which I'll include as we're speaking through these different elements of your story. I noticed they're smiling and they're occupied and they seem relaxed on the photos.
I think the best description of their lives here, we were on our way to Lake Wainamu, which is in West Auckland, very near to Bethel's Bay, which we checked out that you'd recommended. And we saw a surfboard with a sign on it saying, be wary of how you drive, free range kids at play. And I think there's all this emphasis on free range food that when we eat, it should be organic, they should be allowed to graze, they should be in the sunshine. And I think moving here has allowed my kids to be free range kids. They are outside, the air is fresh, the milk is delicious, the butter is next level goodness. They're in the sand, they're on the ground, they're safe, they're happy, and you can see that. I mean, I think the clothes that we brought for them from South Africa doesn't fit. So these kids have had phenomenal growth since becoming free-range kids, and they're just happy. They love their school. They love the fact that they can, they've got scooters, so they scooter to the skate park. They're just free and they're happy. And so there would be challenges, I'd say, at a partner level. It's a huge difference. We have a very soft life in South Africa in the sense that we have domestic workers. So you leave your home and somebody else comes in and they clean it for you from 8 to 4. That's their job. And your garden is cleaned by a gardener, and your security is taken care of by a security guard, and there's a driver. And you come to New Zealand and everything is egalitarian. Everyone is equals. So there's no population that doesn't have employment that needs to come and work for you. You clean your own home. So it's a huge kind of shift that takes place with your partner, and you now having to share both working and then both coming home and cleaning your home. And the kids are like, having never made a bed in their lives, to now having to do chores, as we call it. And then there's that whole discussion of, do you pay your kids to do chores, or do we set the narrative?
I heard, yeah.
We don't pay them. So the kind of narrative that we've tried to share is that we're all a family and we're all responsible for making this homework. So there's that kind of shuffling and finding a new role, and trying to figure out what you do with them when they're sick or at aftercare, because there's no extended family. Grandparents were 5 minutes away, and now grandparents are 32 hours away. So there's no way of, drawing on that support. It's a lot of change, flux, reevaluating, constant conversations of where we're at. And I think the basic bottom line mindset is that we will make it work.
That's it. We will make it work. That's the basic mindset that carries you through. And the children share that mindset. I hear them, they're having a lot of fun. Was it difficult for you to release control at the beach or in a public spot at a playground or something like this?
So my South African friends who've lived here for quite some time, I would have been a helicopter mother, because in South Africa, you need your kids in your line of sight, because it's South Africa. And here I would be like, where's my kid? And I'll be shouting at them, come where mama can see you. And my friends are like, it's okay. You don't need to see them here. Let them play. And they walk to school now. They walk to the park. In fact, we've said that our license registration since coming here is NZ 10 toes, because we use our feet so often that we don't actually need a car. We walk absolutely everywhere because it's safe. People greet you. So my youngest, whose head is little, right here in the corner, keep whispering at me, can I talk? Can I talk? Can I say hello?
Yes, let's do that. Yeah.
There's a little head that's coming in.
Okay.
He was walking around at the St. Heliers beachfront, saying, hello, mate, to everyone he went past to. And there was an elderly lady, and she burst into laughter and she said, well, my wee lad, I'm a little bit too old to be your mate, but good morning nevertheless. And her whole face broke into, she had a walking stick, and he was like, hello, mate. And she was like, she thought it was the cutest thing ever.
Oh, that's great. So the school, the children, is experiences coming back to you from these stories. Is that generally a positive as well? That's always a big nervous point for children.
Every single one of their teachers, who happen to be a variety. My year 7's teacher is from England. My year 5's teacher is from Ireland, and my little boy's teacher is from America. So the exposure to just international, and they're at an international school, there's an international component to it. So just for them having that lived experience of meeting so many cultures has been amazing. And all 3 teachers have said academically they were doing beautifully. And they're like, but most importantly, here in New Zealand, our focus is more on the social. And I need to let you know, Mrs. Amir, that your kids are super popular. They've integrated, they've made friends, and they're teaching the kids about who they are in terms of Islam. So Junaid had gone to pick up Afshin, and he had on a white shirt and a white moss cap. And Afshin's friends thought he was a chef. And so they were like, oh, your dad's a chef. And she's like, no, he's Muslim. And they were like, so they're having to explain what Muslim is and what Islam is. And they're fasting now when they choose to. And so they've been able to explain to their friends what it is that Ramadan is. So their teachers have said, from a perspective of letting their own Kiwi kids know, has been beneficial. And for my kids to meet Russians, Americans, Kiwis, I think there's Korean, Taiwanese, they've got friends from a plethora of countries. It's just been amazing.
That's my experience as well, Suhaila. It works here.
And the teachers are dedicated at integrating culture, integrating respect. So the current war that's going on, in my year 7's class, there's both Ukrainian students and Russian students. And so the way my big boy was saying that was handled in class was amazing. So year 7 students have nothing to do with politics. And so the teacher was extremely mindful of protecting the Russian kids in the class, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And some of my son's best friends are Russian and English and Ukrainian. And so that was an amazing experience of how you can be diplomatic and maintain friendships regardless of what's happening in an outside context. Anybody want to come do their chats? Where's the little guy? Was eagerly. Okay, my daughter came running. She's like,
Okay,
no,
all right.
there we go. Come through. Say,
Hello.
good afternoon.
Hello, how are you? I'm
You can't
good.
hear. Oh yes, you can't hear. Hold on a second.
Yes, okay.
Put one in your ear.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
My name is Afshin.
Could you spell it?
A-F-F-H-E-E-N.
Afleen.
Afshin.
Afshin. Oh, sorry, Afshin. Afshin, it's great to have you here. How old are you?
I am 9 years old.
What did you think when you were coming? Are you happy here? Let's start with that. Are you happy in New Zealand?
Yes, I am very happy.
What do you like the most about your free time? What do you do?
I like playing with my toys, and at school I like since we get a we have Chromebooks, so sometimes I play games on my Chromebook, and for lunchtime we get to play on and there's a field and the senior playground. So I like playing on the senior playground more.
Is it sports? That you,
Pardon?
I was wondering on the playground, is it sports or is it just playing with friends, like kicking the ball around?
Playing with friends.
Mhm.
And on the field it's sports. So,
Yeah,
and kicking the ball around.
yeah.
And there's some sports equipment there, so we can play with hula hoops and balls, and it's fun.
Great, yeah.
And
That's
at home sometimes I get to go to the park.
oh, how far away is that?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes away.
That's great. So what is your memory if you compare this year to last year in South Africa?
And this year was better.
Okay, because of those things you talked about.
Yeah, and also because you have mouse breaks, and you get to play outside for lunch. We didn't get to
good.
play outside in our old school.
Oh
We
yeah,
just ate lunch inside.
yeah.
Bye.
Okay,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Bye-bye. That's really great. It's so nice.
You want to talk?
Yeah,
Okay, come on.
yes, yeah, okay.
All right, we've had another one come.
Hey,
This is my eldest. Oh, practically bigger than mom at this point.
yes.
Hello.
Hi, big man. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So what is your name?
Okay.
Agil. Good to meet you. Yeah. So my name is Tate. How old are you, Agil?
11.
11. Coming into school in New Zealand, were you nervous on the first day?
Yes.
Are you nervous still if you go on Monday?
No.
So what changed?
Shy, relax.
So what changed?
I made a lot of friends, and I got comfortable with my teacher.
If you compare this year in New Zealand to last year in South Africa, I asked your sister this question. What do you think about the difference? How can you explain the difference?
The schools in New Zealand, the school is much better. The classroom was set. The classroom was set extremely neatly, like in South Africa. We couldn't sit next to our friends. It was just desk and desk. But here we can sit next to our friends and do stuff. And the teachers are not like screaming and stuff like how in South Africa.
They scream apparently too much in South Africa.
Okay, I see. I think you're going to have a Kiwi accent someday.
I think the accents have already started changing.
I thought I heard some, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
My mom was like, they're sounding totally different. So even the words that are being used here, like sweet, which
Yes.
is something we don't say, and heaps.
Yeah, heaps.
And
Yeah.
got a fascination with something
Yeah.
called the, what do you want dollars for all the time?
Dairy.
The dairy, like this dairy.
Ah, the
He's
dairy,
most-
yes.
He's
Yeah.
like, can I have $1 for the dairy? Can I have
Uh-huh.
$1 for the dairy?
Yeah,
And
I
what do you
used
want
to be
do?
the
Go to
same.
the dairy all the time
I like to buy fizzy drinks.
and walk there by himself. In fact, he wants to wear a backpack, get on his scooter and go without us.
Yeah.
to the dairy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're running into everybody.
How far away is the dairy on your scooter?
We just go down the road and then I turn left and then the dairy's there.
I've yet to let him go to a friend's house. I've
Okay.
still got to.
Hey,
He's like, Mom.
good to meet you. I really thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
It's been nice to talk to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
That kid of mine's the shyest out of all three.
Maybe very creative as well.
Oh, he loves to draw. So, and here the teachers, he's quite interested in anime, those Japanese figures. So the teachers have been quite like enthusiastic of just letting him draw. And I think that for me is the biggest difference between the educational system here and the one in South Africa. So South Africa is purely academic. It's worksheet based, it's rote learning. Your kids are constantly churning out work. We're doing homework all the time.
Yeah.
And every quarter, there's tests or exams.
Yeah.
And here the focus is on the holistic growth of the child.
Holistic, yes.
Yes.
Right.
So their friendships, their interests, their drawing, like the same kid was telling me, he's never experienced a debate. And when we came here, they were talking about vaccination versus unvaccinated. And the teacher put them into groups and said, right, talk about what's the advantages and disadvantages. And he was like, I don't know what to do because we're so used to doing worksheets. So for him to be able to critically engage was fascinating. And he's bolting out the door right now because he's getting to go to the dairy by himself.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And you're not nervous anymore.
It's been the second or third time. And this is a responsible kid. So this is my kid that he's solid. Like he's good. The teachers have said amazing things about him and I can trust him.
Yeah.
I know he'll go straight there because he's cautious and shy.
Yeah.
My youngest, who you'll meet, is a mischief maker.
Oh, yeah.
My kids have thrived under the new schooling system, where their teachers take a genuine interest in them as individuals. You hear this one, as you can see, is not shy and has been waiting. Ooh. What were you eating that you were making?
Brownies.
Who has been baking you
Brownies.
brownies? Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
You look like you're very happy today.
Yes, I am happy.
What do you like about being here?
I like to skateboard and scooter, and I like going to the skate park and scootering. My scooter is my favorite toy to do, but I can't go down them because I'm too frightened.
Oh, yeah. There's no brakes, huh?
Yeah, there are no brakes on my one now because I broke them.
Oh,
I don't
no.
Because I'm a little mischief maker that breaks everything.
Because I don't use my brakes. Yeah, some of the kids here are nice.
Some of them, not of all of them.
All of them.
All of them. Oh, that's really lucky. Yeah.
I go to the senior playground because it's a little basketball court and I play basketball with the year 4s, and I'm in year 3, but I play with the year 4s, and my best friend is Fred, and he also plays with me basketball.
Is he in the year 4 or year 3 with you? Your best friend?
Year 3.
3. You both play with the year 4s.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds fun. I'm glad you're here in New Zealand. Welcome to New Zealand.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Such
Okay,
treasures.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
7 weeks. This is
Yeah.
7 weeks out of MIQ.
Yeah.
And when my family back home speaks to them, it's like they're almost different kids because they're talking about things that they never did. They're sounding different than what they used to.
Yeah. With your background studying what you study, this must be further proof of the elasticity of the neural networks of children developing. It just changes. Like
They are so adaptable. And I think it also drives home the point that the younger they are when you make the move, the more easier it is for them. So we've had friends come over who have older kids, teenagers, And they talk about how much harder it is for them to integrate, to make friends. Whereas you can see when we hit here, there were 6, 8, and 10. So they've all literally just had birthdays, and they've become 11, 9, and 7. So 2 have had their birthdays already in the last 2 months. And so you can see how quickly it is for them to just adapt.
Well, that's right. There's the age part of it, but then there's also the attitude, Suhaila. Your attitude has been embracing change positively, looking for the positive, finding it, because you generally find what you look for, don't you, over time, generally.
Right. When I gave you this kind of feedback, the amount of positives that have come from this move, there's one thing that we feel, and we feel daily, is the lack of family. And so that every night when I go to bed, as a daughter, is, did I make the right decision from leaving my own parents? And I think the best way to sum that up is that we sacrificed our parents to give our children a better future, if that makes sense for you. Yes. So as a mother, I revel in this decision. It has been the absolute best. I see a future here for my kids that they would have never had in South Africa. As a daughter, though, who had to leave her own parents behind, every night I wonder, did I make the right decision? Because if anything happens to my parents, I won't be able to be there. Or in the event of a funeral for any of our family, I'm not going to be able to make that. But with all those kind of remnants or debris of that decision making, I would say go for it. The kind of what you get in return for those few months of agony around whether INZ is going to approve you or not, or going to do anything, or whether you're going to be able to stay here or get your residence, or whatever it is that you're doing that's going to come from that, do it. There is no worse decision than staying and being crippled by fear. Whereas the outcome of this move has been phenomenal. Carpe diem, just go for it.
Seize the day.
Seize the day, seize the moment, seize the opportunity. And life here is truly fantastic. You'll have to learn how to make your own bed, load a dishwasher, and take out the garbage. But those are small prices to pay for the freedom, the work-life balance, and the Kiwi hospitality. There is something about Kiwi people, whether it's in a traffic circle and they stop to give you way with a smile on their faces, despite the fact that it could give them 10 more minutes at that robot or traffic lights, sorry, as you say. I don't know if I told you that story about the robot and traffic lights.
No, I don't think I heard that one.
So I had just gotten to work and I couldn't remember where I'd parked my car, and I found a police officer and I said, can you help me? I parked my car at the intersection of this road and the robots. And he looks at me and he says, Miss, there's robots in Auckland? And I'm like, there's robots everywhere. And he's like, Miss, we have no robots here. And I'm like, officer, there are robots everywhere. So he's like, oh, this mustn't fall out. He's like, robots? And I'm like, red, green, orange. He's like, oh, you mean the traffic lights? And I'm like, what did you think I was talking about? He's like, Miss, robots are those machine things. And I was like, oh my word. So yes, they are just, you know, and this police officer literally spent 15 minutes helping me look for a car whose registration I couldn't remember. I just drove it without looking, and he was just genuinely sweet. And he's like, do you want me to follow you home? Do you know how to get there? And I'm like, you would never get that in South Africa.
No.
So just Kiwi hospitality, Kiwi friendliness, the Kiwi way, you know.
Yeah. God bless you, Suhaila. I really appreciate your contact. I look forward to seeing you in Auckland, and you're welcome when you're in Nelson. If that happens, you probably will find your way here. Just come by and say hi. We'll meet in
definitely.
We can meet here at my place either way.
My immigration advisor is also in the South Island.
That's right. He's
like
with
you.
Yes.
Yes, and my travel agent keeps saying you haven't truly experienced the beauty of New Zealand until you've stepped out of Auckland and into the South Island. So she's like, got this trip planned for me. I think we're waiting for residency to come through, so we feel a little bit more secure here. And then we obviously want to buy in the future. And then the next step after that, once we've got those ducks in a row, is to come to the South Island. So
Right.
to meet you and your beautiful wife, to meet Rory Hennessy and his mom, and to see the Aurora Australis from Queenstown and the beautiful scenes that the South Island has to offer.
That's right. You got it. That's exactly what you can do.
Yes. And I guess, like I said, total gratitude, because that first meeting with you in August culminated in a series of events, was the trigger that culminated in a series of events to where we find ourselves now. So as we say in Arabic, Jazakallah khair, may all the goodness be with you for the actions that you have done for me and my family.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Anytime. I look forward to meeting with you again as well. And all the best
Absolutely.
to Junaid and your 3 beautiful children. We'll talk
Thank you
again
so
soon. Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.